We are going deep into the rabbit hole. They falling, they falling, they falling, they falling, they falling. Cat Williams,
My boy.
the latest, the greatest, one of the greatest comedians to ever live. Cat Williams.
One of the greatest humans to ever live.
One of the greatest humans to ever live. Family, if you have been on social media this past week, I'm sure you have seen the great Cat Williams breaking the internet. This week, he has exposed the kings of comedy for their lies, storytelling, and not to mention, he also stomped on Hollywood's neck and pissed them off.
Yeah.
I give you the great Cat Williams.
Amazing. Oscar, you got something to say to this?
No, I'm happy. I love him.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
I just want to say Cedric the Entertainer is not an entertainer.
Bro.
I think that's amazing. Growing up as a kid, obviously it's kind of like, yeah, his name is Cedric the Entertainer because he's entertaining. But then when you think about it, he doesn't do shit. So I really appreciated that from Cat Williams, that he brought that to light. And also there was a point when he was talking in some of those videos where he was talking about Kevin Hart. And I found that very interesting.
You know, that was the first thing I was going to bring up because, I know we just talked about like some of Kevin Hart's specials, and I don't want to make it seem like he's not funny, but he does have a point to where, I really didn't notice, but I mean, that man came in and took Hollywood by storm. He really didn't have a struggle, and that was a good point from him because I never paid attention to that until
because I mean, it happened so long ago now, right? Like almost 20, 25 years ago. So.
Yeah, it was Soul Plane. Soul Plane was my first introduction to Cat Williams, and not Cat Williams, Kevin Hart. Mm-hmm. And even then, I didn't really see anything outside of that until he was on Wild 'N Out.
Right, exactly. I mean, and Soul Plane was what, 03, 04, something like that? Yeah, so I mean, it was a long time ago.
He had a movie before that, if I'm not mistaken, with like Megan Good or something. Was it Megan? It was one of those. I don't know if it was Megan Good. Anyway, he worked at, I don't even know if I could say this word, but he worked at a fertility bank is what we'll say. You know that movie? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And they come to find out the girl was dating him and she worked there and the girls was like, oh, maybe you shouldn't date him. I can't think of the name of the movie. But to come out like that with like big name actors, because I think that was like one of his first roles. That's a good point, man. I mean,
it's crazy. It's interesting because look, I never thought. I mean, even growing up with Cat Williams, like we would watch his specials at Thanksgiving, type stuff, and it's like never in my right mind that I ever think that Kevin Hart was a better comedian than Cat Williams. You know what I mean? So it's like. Kevin Hart is in its own like stratosphere, its own area. It's a little more PG, a little more friendly.
That's what I was gonna say. You know what I'm saying? It's more family friendly.
Yeah,
it's
more
not
wide
as raw as it should be.
Exactly.
Even though he has like jokes and he curses and stuff, it's usually catered to a more family based audience.
Like for instance, I can't tell you how many people would tell me I look like Kevin Hart. That being said, it's because he's more widespread. You know what I'm saying? A black person's not going to tell me that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he's more wide audience, widespread.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Which means he's also been catered to, in a way where he doesn't have to struggle. So I can totally see his point.
Well, that's what he said. He said that he never seen Kevin Hart do, or like Kevin Hart said he was doing comedy out in the West Coast and getting his starts in the West Coast, but then he was also saying that he started all of that he did on the East Coast. And then what Kat said is there's no evidence of you doing that anywhere.
Yep.
And it's when you got to the West, that's when you start doing the movies and all that stuff. So I get it, but at the same time, it's like, you know how many entertainment people are on the East Coast looking for people?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, you could run into somebody that can change your life. For sure. I mean, it's definitely, it's not out of the realm of possibility,
Yeah, I feel that. Well, reporting live from Florida. Florida, I love you, Florida.
I don't.
We love you, Florida.
I don't like Florida.